Good evening, everyone. Sorry about the delay here. I need my non-caffeine. If I could call the regular meeting of the Cumberland Fire District to order, please. We'll begin with a roll call. Commissioner Archibald. Commissioner Jones. Uh-oh. We good? Never mind. Commissioner Santoro. Commissioner Hogan is excused.
Is it me?
Commissioner Champagne is excused. Commissioner Scullin?
Here.
And I am here. Could we please stand in for the moment of silence and Pledge of Allegiance? And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. No, it's all right. I keep on wanting to say, please be seated, and I just can't get that out of my former life as a teacher. General announcements. Does anyone have any general announcements? Thank you. Okay, let's go to the approval of the minutes from 11/28. Is there a motion on the table? Motion to accept by Commissioner Scullin. I'm sorry, Santoro.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Scullin. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All in favor of accepting the approval of the minutes from the 28th of November, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? It passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nothing. Thank you. New business. Finance report. I know that Mrs. Carol Ocean is not here, so if you have any questions for the finance director at this point in time, Commissioner Santoro.
Communications, old business.
Oh, God. Communications, old business?
There is none.
There is none.
If we have anything from the chief.
Well, there's none. It's not on the agenda.
What are we discussing here?
Nothing.
Clarify, please.
Like IPs?
Clarify, please.
Well, I was just wondering if there was any communications that we had that sometimes we get them from the chief or we don't have any. So.
You called for that.
No, nothing. Thank you. And we don't have any old business? Any old business? I have a question, Commissioner Santoro. You were tasked with developing or putting together a meeting for the Personnel Subcommittee. Can I have a report on that, please?
Has not happened yet. Trying to obtain information from other districts of the same size has been a pretty daunting task for me personally. Tried to establish a meeting for this evening an hour early before on Friday and was not successful. But I am in process of collecting my personal data from similar districts like Cumberland to present to the committee for discussion.
So for next month, I would expect that if this is the time of evening that you like to hold these meetings at 6 o'clock, you can get that in next week for public, for notice.
If I could beg the chairwoman, it's Christmas. I will do my best.
All right, so you can wait until the 26th. How's that?
I would ask January 2nd if that would be approved.
I'm just throwing out the date.
You can throw dates. I will
Santoro.
do my best to accommodate during the holiday season to get.
You don't even have to wait because we're not meeting until the end of January. But my suggestion is that so that you can have your meeting, you ask for notice earlier than the Friday before the Friday before the meeting.
Sure.
That's all I'm suggesting.
Thank you for the suggestion. Well, appreciated.
Okay, finance report. If anyone has any questions.
A couple of quick questions just for the chief. He can.
Sure.
Chief, just looking again at the overtime, We're at 90%. Is there any,
Yes, we are. I've got 4 people out on long-term injury. I had one that came back, and then I had another guy slip on ice today and go down, so I'm up to 5 people out right now. I'm not sure just what the extent of today's injuries are, but we're going to be way over in that account, there's no doubt about it. I never anticipated 4 long-term IODs. We'll have to do line item transfers within the budget to cover the shortfall.
Or have a bake sale. Sorry.
it's going to be a pretty big sale.
Oh, yeah. You can make all the brownies. I would like to make a note, thank you for bringing that up. I hope I'm not interrupting you, you probably had more questions.
I do, but you can have yours.
Okay, I took a look at, I know there was a concern about overtime over the summer, June, July, and August, and we were making some assumptions about what was happening, but I was given the overtime, a spreadsheet of all of the overtime issues, and it had nothing to do with, we were expecting that people were, banging in sick unnecessarily and going down that road, and in all actuality, the overtime was as a result of family illness, and we had people out. So when we were kind of appalled at the overtime, there was actually a legitimate reason for that. So, and that's just, I want to congratulate the men for, the men of the fire department for, hanging in there and doing their job, and it's unfortunate. We have really hit kind of a low in terms of having people able to work and being out uninjured. So, as concerned I am about the overtime, I think it's one of those things that we just have no control over, these injuries.
Oh, no, and I agree, but I also think probably by next month's meeting, we should have prepared some kind of list of some line items that we can make some immediate transfers instead, make sure that money's not used before the end of the year.
That actually that's a great idea, and so we could probably reach out to the Finance Committee.
Right,
and have them take a look at it. That's an excellent suggestion, Commissioner Scullin.
Instead of waiting until May to try and figure out where we're going to find the cash. My other
Director Carolishin and I have made that assumption already. We're going to be at the 6-month mark of the budget, concluding at the end of this week, and we'll have a very good picture of where we're at for the upcoming 6 months, along with what we have for tax collections in place already. So we'll make sure that that document is prepared for the Finance Subcommittee for the January meeting.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, and I'm sure Commissioner Champagne can reach out to you, Chief, and get a hold of that information also.
And one other quick question, Chief. Sick time payout, line 7020. What does that entail? It's a small number, but...
That's the accrued sick time and vacation time that an employee gets paid for when he retires. And we just had a retirement, so the accrued vacation and sick time, there's a portion that is at 50%. I believe it's sick time, he gets paid at 50%, and vacation time, he gets paid 100%.
That's strictly retirement line.
That's just retirement.
Okay, because that went a little bit over, but that, not drastic.
Any further questions?
Well, actually, my next one's a comment, but Diane's not here. I discussed it with Diane last week. I got a couple of calls on a tax sale that we're holding. And it's, how we're running this tax sale is a real problem for me. We're doing a tax sale when people have no past due prior year taxes. We're doing it based on this year's taxes. And legally, it may be okay. But I don't know why we're doing that when people owe $150, $180, then hit them with a $300 fee. I don't know who made up this policy, but I think it should be a board policy.
So I believe that we would go through 2 quarters. And if people were in arrears after 2 quarters, then there would be some movement on that. And I agree there have been definitely some concerns from people, but I would like to take an opportunity to sit down with Ms. Carol Ocean and just kind of review what the intent was, and I also have some questions of my own.
Well, in light of that, because it's an ongoing process, I would like to have a special meeting early in January to discuss it and have the board discuss it and vote on a policy. But if we're going to use a policy like that, I think the board ought to be involved in it. Because I wasn't aware of the new policy until after I got calls.
What is the policy you're referring to? So if we're 2 quarters in arrears, you can go to tax sale within a 1-year period of time?
Even 1 quarter in arrears.
Really?
Yep, I got a letter.
Excuse me. We have time for comments during the comment section. Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I talked to the town finance director and assistant finance director today, and the town does not use that policy. There has to be a prior year bill before it sets in a tax sale. They do not use just current year bills. And I don't see why we should not be doing something different than what the town is doing. We're in the same town, same taxpayers. So I think we have a real issue with how we're handling this.
And we probably also have to know the reason why, and I'm wondering if it has something to do with the fact that we are on such a tight budget and so many people are paying quarterly that there's a concern. I don't know, Jim, I don't know.
Oh, I know that's the issue, but if that's the issue, the board should be deciding that. Because we're responsible to the taxpayers.
Okay, point taken, thank you.
Who decides when?
Who decides what, when, and what goes to tax sale? And we abate properties, but do we approve what goes to a tax sale?
I believe the people, what goes to a tax sale are non-payment of taxes.
But who is the decider of that? Is that
Madam Chair?
Yes,
I can enlighten the board.
please do.
The current tax sale is any resident that didn't pay any of 2016 taxes, or any resident that made no attempt to pay any of the first 2 quarters of 2017. The issue at hand is we have about 2,000 unpaid bills. And with the 90-day lead time for the tax sale, what we learned last year is the tax sale occurs after the fiscal year ends. The finance director is trying to keep all of the current fiscal money in the same fiscal year. So unfortunately, it's poor timing, but it was necessitated through the conversation with the tax attorney that the timeframes that it needed necessitated that the bills go out this month. We have quite an outstanding amount of money that is due the district, and they're just trying to keep the cash flow in a positive mode. It's not anything that they dreamt up. It's Rhode Island state law that they're following. I can get copies of the law for you to review, so that you know that they're just following the law established by the state of Rhode Island for these purposes. We don't have the luxury of a large cash on hand flow like the town of Cumberland does, that they can absorb a year of non-payment. We just don't have that at our infancy that the district is in right now.
Well, I mean, if you are, what the chief said is right about the law, is that this is, and also Commissioner Scullin, that it's legal, but I do agree that the board should be making the policy.
Yeah.
And, you know, situation right now isn't a result of the taxpayers not paying. It's really a result of, the legislation that created it was flawed, and they knew it, and I brought it to Senator Pearson's attention. He didn't want to fix it. And also, the first term of the board was not very well. We made a lot of decisions that have affected our bottom line, which were not good decisions. So to sit here and attack the taxpayers over $150 back tax bill, it's wrong. That's what, in my opinion.
So we can look at that.
Fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And we move from payment in full quarterly taxes to try to help ease the burden on those people. But, you know, there's some that just are refusing to pay. And it's a compromising situation for all involved, but it's a necessity. If you don't pay your credit card bill, you get interest tacked onto it. If you don't pay it for a period of time, you lose it. The same with your cell phone. It's something that is arguably controversial, but it's state law, and they're just following it to try to keep the cash flow in a positive mode.
Well, it's a state law that we're using. You don't have to follow that state law, because most places don't do this.
Most places have a lot bigger reserve cash than what we have.
But we're also doing it way ahead of the curve, because the tax sale is not till sometime in April.
Yes, in the 90 days. If we waited till April, we would be out of the budget year.
No, but I'm saying that there are certain things you can't even do right now. You can't even do a title search on a property right now. The title search can't be done until 90 days before the actual tax sale.
And that's why the notices went out. So that tax sale
Well, we've already attached a
background can
$300
be worked
bill
on.
to every account, 600 accounts.
Yeah.
We already taxed the $300, and that tax, the title search
And I'm
can't
not
be
sure,
done until February.
and we don't know what accounts the tax attorney has already started doing the research on.
But they can't start until 90 days before by law. And that I got clarified today through the town finance department. And they actually did tax it, the attorney, but that's why I think there's a lot of moving parts here that we have to address.
Yeah, there are a lot. I agree with that. So your point is taken, and I think that that's something that we need to do. Okay. Chief's report. Any other further discussion? Chief's report.
We gotta vote on the finance?
You can accept it if you'd like.
Sure.
Yeah, motion to accept.
Motion on the table to accept the finance report by Commissioner Scullin. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, Chief.
We had, as you can see, we had 361 responses during the month of November. We made it through Thanksgiving with only one burnt food issue. As you'll see in the resolution later this evening, the town of North Providence has an interest in Truck 5. I support the sale of it at this time. We have Ladder 1, which is the in-service truck, and we have Truck 1, which is the 2,000 KME for a backup and a reserve. So we have an in-service and we have a backup. To have two backups, it's not going to serve us any need at this point. And it's only going to be a more costly item because as these trucks sit, they deteriorate much quicker. And we already know that there's a few issues that have to be taken care of on this truck for it to remain roadworthy. The town of North Providence had a similar age truck, and they were bringing it for repairs and they lost the motor. They deem that this is a better fit for them right now than putting a new motor in a 24-year-old truck.
Thank you. We can talk about that in the resolution, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, great. Anything else on the report? Just 1 second. Just wanted to Because of what I do, I'm very aware of this. We're coming up to Christmas, which is the second leading cause of fires, structure fires. I mean, the second biggest day of structure fires of the year, and they're mostly cooking fires. So if we could remind the residents of Cumberland to please stand by your pan as you're cooking this Christmas holiday. Thank you. Motion to accept?
Second.
Motion to accept by Commissioner Santoro, seconded by Commissioner Scullin. All in favor of accepting the chief's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay. All right, resolution number 37 for this year of 2017, authorizing the finance director to pay Minuteman Trucks an amount not to exceed $6,563.95. 29 cents. Did I say 99 or 29? 95. I made that up. We'll give him a few more cents. All repairs have been made with the approval of the chief. Now therefore be it resolved by the Cumberland Fire District as follows. The finance director is authorized to pay Minuteman Trucks Incorporated amount not to exceed $6,563.29. Is there a motion?
Motion. Accept.
Motion by Commissioner Scullin,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Archibald. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All in favor of authorizing the finance director to pay Minuteman Trucks, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Passes 5-0. Next resolution. Sorry. Thank you. This is number 38 in the year 2017, authorizing the finance director to pay Ralco Equipment Company and not to exceed $5,181.10, having made all the repairs to engine 4, and they have been made with the approval of the chief. Therefore, be it resolved that the finance director is authorized to pay Ralco Equipment Company $5,181.10, not to exceed that much. Is there a motion on the table?
Motion. Accept.
Motion to accept by Commissioner Archibald.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Scullin. Any discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Santoro.
I'm trying to find the line item in the budget. Are we on track for the amount of money we're spending and repairing?
I'm not over budget yet, but I've got about $15,000 left in the repair account.
Wow,
So
6 months
6
into the
months
year?
to go. We're going to be looking very cautiously at what we send out. And we might end up using our reserve apparatus for a while.
Emergencies happen, yeah. Gotta be fixed, it'll be fixed.
You know,
Okay.
I'm okay for tires right now. It's just going to be, it's going to be repairs.
Okay, thank you.
I certainly wish I could forecast it better, but there's just some crazy stuff that's happened.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's go to vote. All in favor of authorizing the finance director to pay Ralco Equipment an amount not to exceed $5,181.10, say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next resolution.
Chair, if I may, while of order. The solicitor mentioned the list last month for those, during the bylaws discussion. I don't remember what happened with that. You were going to work on the list of routine people to use?
The recurring services
Yes.
was tabled. We needed further clarification. We need monetary amounts to be attached
Okay.
to each of the vendors, which I failed to supply. So
Thank you.
We're working on that.
If I could take a 2-minute break just for a moment, please. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Okay, next resolution is number 39, authorizing the finance director to pay Woonsocket Door Sales Company an amount not to exceed $4,370. And Woonsocket Door Sales replaced a garage door at Station 4, which was an emergency as the replaced door was damaged and opened and the fire apparatus was exposed to the element. We would therefore be it resolved by the Cumberland Fire District that the finance director is authorized to pay Woonsocket Door an amount not to exceed $4,370. Is there a motion on the table?
Motion to accept.
Motion?
Motion to accept.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Ashenball, seconded by Commissioner Scullin. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All in favor of authorizing the finance director to pay $4,370 for Woonsocket Door, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay. Yep, thank you. Resolution number 40. Who came up with all these resolutions this month? That's what I want to know. Number 40, authorizing the finance director to abate and adjust $381.56 for the month of November 2017, that the following items listed, totaling $381.56, should be abated and or adjusted for reasons noted. So, therefore be it resolved that the finance director will abate and or adjust this list, totaling $381.56 for the month of November 7th. Motion to approve, Commissioner Scullin,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Archambault. Any discussion?
The accuracy is incredible. Abating 0.1 cent for two properties is phenomenal.
Unbelievable. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All in favor of abating this amount, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, all right. Jim. 41. Resolution number 41, authorizing Chief Kenneth Finley to enter into an agreement to sell Truck 5, a 1993 Emergency 1 Quint fire apparatus, to the town of North Providence in the amount of $7,500. Chief?
As I stated earlier, this is the oldest of the 3 in-service ladder trucks that we have, and it's the one that I reported that is going to need some structural repair. The rear cross member between the rear spring hangers is rotted from the road salt accumulating in it. North Providence is aware of that, but they have an in-house mechanic as compared to us going to a vendor to repair it. There's some other issues. The head gasket's leaking on that truck also. They're aware of that. They're willing to take the truck for the $7,500 that they've offered. We've attempted through a national brokerage firm for 14 months. We had no interest on the truck. We went to municipal for a 1-month period, had no interest on the truck. And if we retain it, we're going to have to spend money that we don't have to keep the truck somewhat functional. So at this point, it's my suggestion that we accept the offer and conclude the purchase, to conclude the sale rather, to North Providence.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner
I
Scullin?
want to concur with the chief on his theory of not keeping the truck around because we can't afford to fix it. We don't need the truck. We've used it to its fullest extent over the
And then some.
and then some. So I fully support this. I will make a motion to accept this resolution.
Okay, motion to accept by Commissioner Scullin, seconded by Commissioner Santoro. Any further discussion?
Just one comment.
Commissioner Jones?
I brought up last meeting, Chief, just to reiterate that the sale to North Providence would keep the truck local, 2 towns away, that in theory, that could help us if we had a major fire.
They're on a clear alarm card, so
So we could see that truck back
it's a possibility, yeah.
to help us, so
Well, we could visit with it.
Yeah, we'll say hello and goodbye, you know. Thank you.
It won't cost us a cent to waive that.
We won't be having it back, but we can visit with it.
I'd like to also commend the chief on the efforts to, move this vehicle. He's done a lot of extra work above and beyond with municipal bid and, putting it out there to get it taken care of, so.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief, for doing that. All in favor of accepting the resolution to sell the emergency 1-quint fire apparatus to North Providence, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, passes 5-0. Okay, so the last item on the agenda for the board to work with here is the approval of the meeting dates in 2018.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept by Commissioner Santoro. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Archibald.
Madam Chair, one question.
Commissioner.
Just refresh my memory as to why 2 months out of the year we're on different dates, different days of the week.
Well, the Thursday, September 27th is all about me.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Okay, so I have a conference that I run, and this year it's September 25th and 26th. It's Monday and Tuesday, and I am unable to be here for that meeting. So we're going to Thursday of that week, and the Monday, December 17th, I believe the following Monday would be Christmas Eve. I mean, the following Tuesday is Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, so.
Day after, well, yeah, whatever, okay.
Yeah, so that's all.
Okay,
Is that okay?
sure.
Appreciate that.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Jones.
Just on the dates are fine, and I had spoke to Chief and yourself about special events such as swearing in or award ceremonies where this facility is a little cramped, and we have firefighting personnel in the hallways, and would it be possible to consider using the community room for that type venue for awards or where we're going to have much public input?
Absolutely. So if we have a special situation occurring, gentlemen, would you be agreeable to moving the meeting if it's available to the community room at the library?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would that work for you? Yeah. And it's true what Commissioner Jones is saying. It's unfortunate that everybody has to stand outside when, they want to be an active part and supportive of something like this. So, all right, we'll work on it. And as long as we know in advance when we will be having special events, or if something comes up, we can plan ahead. For example, if a heroic deed or action occurs, we can, maybe plan for the following month to set up at that location. Okay, so we'll just have to keep on our toes on that one. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. At this point in time, I would like to have public input or comment.
Did we vote on that?
I'm sorry?
Did we vote?
On what?
On the
Yeah, we accept it.
Yeah.
We did?
No, we did not.
We did?
It was no.
We get a second on it.
No, we needed a second. Who seconded?
I
By
motion-
Commissioner
I mo-
Jones. You made the motion. Commissioner Jones, second. All in favor of the approval of the 2018 meeting dates, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. And even though it's all about me, we have approved this 5-0. Thank you. So at this point in time, we have room on our agenda for public input or comment. We have somebody's a little anxious. We have a protocol. We need for you to come to the microphone, speak clearly into the microphone, state your name and your address, please.
I'm short. Hello?
It's good.
Okay. Hi, my name is Samantha McLaughlin, and I've been a resident in Cumberland my whole entire life. So I'm not new to the process of the taxes here. Prior to this board, when we had our boroughs, and I was in the Valley Falls District, which our tax practices were a bit different than they are now. It wasn't a quarterly system, so it worked out well for me. I've been a bus driver in Cumberland for 16 years and get laid off in the summer, so you can imagine money is tight. Well, this year, when the tax bills came out and they would do July and then October, well, I only go back to work in September, and I'm getting back on my feet with an income that's diminished. I ended up in the little tax sale that's going on right now, and I have my bill from last year, which I can pass off to you people. It was paid in full for the 2016-2017 on January 11th, 2017. It says it right here. However, her stamp down here says it was 2016, so she might need new stamps prior to the new year. If you want, I can pass this off to you. I don't know if that's your protocol. Now, much to my surprise, when the bills came out, yeah, I get it, I know, it's quarterly now, and I was supposed to pay in July and October. Well, I couldn't do it, so I went down the other day, here's my check, and I was going to pay my bill. And I figured, hey, I paid it in January last year, I should be all right. To my surprise, I'm putting a tax sale. I owe $174 that was due for those 2 months, and for the 2018 bill would be another $174 to bring it up to $348. Well, January of 2018 isn't here, neither is April. However, now I'm penalized, and I can't pay my bill until I pay $300 to this attorney. That's what I'm told. I was told by the finance director she would take my check, but my check would go right to the attorney's fees, not to my bill. Well, for 600 houses in Cumberland, at $300, that's $180,000 going to the attorney before the bills are even due. So, I mean, I hear, you know, you've got 90% overtime, you've got trucks breaking down, you've got all these accounts, and now 1 in 18 people approximately in Cumberland have to pay an attorney to come into this $180,000 before we can even pay our bill to help support our fire district. I don't know why it was changed. I don't know who. Well, the finance director told me she can send the bill out anytime she wants, that it's her right to do that. That's what she told me. And I said, well, if it was in January last year or even after that, why did you move it up? She said, our budget fell short, so we felt we needed to send them out early. And I guess you guys didn't approve that, so she's got carte blanche to whatever's being done. That's what it seems to me, the taxpayer. But my water heater just went in my house, and I got to pay $300. Well, I can't because I've got to pay an attorney for a sale that's not taking place till April? Is that what we heard? April? And I can make these tough choices. I don't understand why, and I don't understand how we can do this to the taxpayers, especially when the bill for 2018 is not due yet. I mean, in my mind, it's not, because coming from the Valley Falls District, we used to pay one payment, and I always paid it in February. That's when I got my tax return. All right, I paid the $20 penalty. It got paid, but that was good for 23 years. I had my house. That was fine. They made an extra $23. I was able to keep my family afloat. Things were great. It's not that way anymore. And I don't think it's fair to the people of Cumberland, especially to be given a penalty for 2018. It's not even here yet, but I'm getting penalized for it. I hope you guys take that into consideration and put together a plan that helps the people of this town. Between our excise taxes, our sewer taxes, our water taxes, our fire taxes, our town taxes, it is really hard for people, especially if you have a family. And me, I got 2 kids in college now, I got grandkids, and I get laid off. How do you do it? And how do you justify telling me I got to pay a fine for something that hasn't come yet? I get it, I was behind 2 quarters. But as you can see, last year I paid it in January, and I didn't have to pay a fee to an attorney of $300. And January was just here. That wasn't even last year. That was January 2017. And in the same year. And I gotta pay $300. I don't get it, and I don't think it's right. It just doesn't seem like the way we should be operating. We are still a town. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking, and I hope someone can help me because I got the money. I'll pay it. I'll pay my $374 I owe this year. I just don't want to give an attorney an extra $300 so she gets $180,000 this year. That's a lot of money. That could be textbooks. That could be almost a new fire truck. I don't understand that. Honestly, I don't. Are you guys getting any of that back? Because that's a lot of money to give one attorney. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
And I really hope you can help. I'll pay my bill. I have the check written out. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Amanda, did you state your address?
I live on 412 Minerva Avenue.
What, Minerva?
Minerva.
Okay, thank you.
Been there for 23 years. I never had my house at a tax sale.
Okay, thank you. Yep, come on up.
I've never done this before, so.
Quite all right.
I'm Darlene Marcotte. I live at 4 Seneca.
I'm sorry, Darlene, your last name again, please?
Marcotte.
Marcotte?
Yeah. I live at 4 Seneca. The same thing happened to me. I got the green thing and never been late on any payments. And I owed $324. And I was like, oh, tax sale. Oh, my God. I don't know where that bills went. Don't know. Just skipped my mind. I work. I have a great job. I make good money. I called the phone number over here. I spoke with a lady, and she basically told me, I said, oh, I'm going to come down right now. I'm going to pay the $324. I apologize. It just slipped. Nope, you have to pay $325 for attorney fees first. What? I go, for what? For a title search of a house that can't be sold until April, and it's illegal. You can't even look up a title search until 90 days before you try to sell a house. Tried to explain it to her. Nope, didn't want to hear it. So I went online where you can pay the bill online. So I went online, didn't say I owed $300 for the $325 for the attorney fees, so I paid it. Then she sent me a letter in the mail saying that it went to the attorney fees. So I still owe that money for the tax. Which, that's not right. And the same thing, resident my whole life, Cumberland, won't move anywhere else, love my little town of Cumberland, born and raised here. And I don't owe back taxes. I don't owe sewer tax. I don't owe water, nothing. This is just something that slipped my mind. And yeah, I'm guilty of that. I should have paid it right away or quarterly, but I wouldn't have paid it in quarterly. I'm good for just paying a whole bill and letting it go. But this definitely skipped my mind. But I shouldn't be penalized $325 for an attorney fee, and it's still 2017. No?
Okay.
Do I have to say anything else?
You
Go sit
did
down.
great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
I probably don't need the microphone. My name's
We do need it for the recording, though.
my name's David McLaughlin. I live at 412 Minerva Avenue, Cumberland. I was listening to the chief talk earlier about the tax sale that the fire district had the right to do at one point. I called the Attorney General's office Monday and actually today, and asked them about this law, and I was told that the Cumberland Hill Fire District doesn't exist anymore. You are now the Cumberland Fire District. These laws that were instilled back in 2000s are no longer relevant to the fire district because the Cumberland Hill Fire District no longer exists. So what the chief was saying, the chief had made a comment that the people whose houses were going up for a tax lien sale hadn't paid their bill in 2016. My wife and I paid our bill in 2016, so we're being auctioned off for missing 2 quarters in 2017. Now, I just spent the last 2 weeks doing Toys for Tots so I could give the Happy Basket program 1,000 toys. I'm in Providence, I'm all over the state of Rhode Island handing out toys, and then I gotta come home and see a letter on my table. I mean, I understand that the fire department's having money problems, we're all having money problems, but who do I go to if I need to raise money to pay my taxes? I mean, I don't think it's fair. They think someone needs to do their homework on this law because according to the Attorney General, this law doesn't exist because you're no longer in the Cumberland Hill Fire District.
Sure, if you want it, yeah, that's fine.
The only thing I would say is that law does not apply to the Cumberland Fire District.
No.
But there's a state statute that allows any municipality or fire district to conduct tax sales.
After 12, if you missed, in other words, if you missed 2016, it's just like the chief said, if you missed 2016 and you go into 2017, then you have every legal right in the world to have a tax lien sale. But to go after someone with a $300 legal fee for missing 2 quarters, and it's like my wife said, 600 taxpayers, that's $180,000. Why are we going to an attorney to give them $180,000 when this gentleman could use this money for overtime because he's got 5 guys out? I mean, I wouldn't want the chief's job for all the money in the world, but still. I mean, I know what it's like working with bureaucrats. I was in the Marine Corps for the longest time, so I know the drill. But, I mean, money's an issue everywhere we go. The Marine Corps didn't give any T-shirts to the Toys for Tots this year because they have no money. I mean, not that that's a big deal, but it just goes to show you everybody's hurt. But, again, you got how many elderly couples all of a sudden get this letter in the mail, they're 2 quarters behind. They got to run down and pay the $300 because this woman up at the fire district is telling them the first $300 you pay in your fire tax bill goes to the attorney when you haven't had a lien sale yet. So, I don't know, I'm just, somewhere along the line, common sense has to dictate. And I can understand, like my wife said and that lady said, if you miss 1 year and you're into the next year, I can understand the issue. But, thank you for your time. Happy holidays, Mr. Scullin. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Mr. McLaughlin.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Scullin?
Santoro.
God, I did that again, sorry. Commissioner Santoro.
He's much better looking than I am. If we could ask the solicitor to clarify, the law that is stated currently, you're saying that this tax sale can happen as the chief stated, 2016 and then 17? Or is it a matter of 1 quarter and then 2 quarters, and then it can be sold sent to tax sale?
I do not know the answer to that. I'm not the tax sale attorney for the district. But, I will look at that. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that the municipalities and fire districts have the ability to conduct tax sales. Cumberland Hill had a special law because the smaller fire districts did not have that ability. So Cumberland Hill went to the legislature and said, can we conduct tax sales? And they said yes. So Valley Falls couldn't, Cumberland couldn't, North Cumberland couldn't. But now that we have this charter, we fall within the state law. So you can. I just don't know the specific answer to if there's a requirement of when it has to happen. I will get back to you on that.
And Chief, you're pretty familiar with that law, right? You were saying that it's 2016 and the 17 as well.
What I'm saying is what the tax office has moved forward on is anybody that did not pay anything in 2016 and missed the first 2 quarters of 2017.
Okay.
That was the parameters that they set up because the 3rd quarter is due now.
Sure.
So realistically, if they haven't paid the first 2 quarters, they're going to miss the 3rd quarter also.
Okay. I actually take this opportunity to publicly state to everyone who spoke that if there has been an error, I think there's an apology that should be sent to you. And I don't think it was done in malice or any other reason, but that's my personal opinion. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yes, we have every intention of investigating this.
I ask a question, please.
Please come up. You have to come up.
I can state my name again then. David McLaughlin, 412 Minerva Avenue. Now, can I pay my tax bill that we owe for the full year now, or do I have to go back to the fire station in Cumberland Hill? I mean, are we going to have to pay the $300 penalty to the attorney, or do we just pay our tax bill? How's this going to work? Because I don't want to keep letting this thing hang.
That can't be decided tonight. Commissioner Scullin has suggested a meeting that I think the chair will schedule. So if you follow the notices, I guess the chair is saying maybe early January, you'll get some information.
So I'm gonna be,
So what I would recommend, here's what I would recommend, and I'm going to ask the chief and Beth to get this message out, that you pay the tax that you owe, and then we'll deal with any penalties as long as the tax is paid at this moment in time.
Okay.
And then we will meet, because that's what we really need. We really need people to pay their taxes. Here's what I'm saying, and this is what they are being told right now. She took my money, put it to the attorney. So here's what I'm saying right now, is that go and pay the tax that you owe, and this message is going to the finance, to the tax department tomorrow, and to hold off on the attorney's fees for this moment. We will meet and get that information. And if you owe interest on the taxes that you failed to pay, you would also need to have to pay that interest.
that's fair.
Is the money comes back from the tax attorney to go towards their tax bill.
I can't answer that. We have to talk to the tax department,
And you
Then-
have to have a meeting,
and we have to have a meeting on that.
and you have to vote on it.
Can I speak to that, please, then? If we're advising to pay a tax, and they're gonna pay, say they owe $324, this young lady paid, Miss Marcotte paid $325, the $300 went to the tax attorney,
Right.
so now if that money cannot be returned from the tax attorney, she's gonna be paying $625, and we're advising them to pay taxes that may be misdirected to a different person if we can't get them back from the tax attorney.
So what I have instructed them to do is accept the tax and any interest that's owed on that tax.
As tax first, not to go to the attorney.
Yes, as tax.
Thank you.
And then we will meet in January regarding this whole process,
Thank you very much.
okay?
Are you gonna pay the whole year?
We haven't set that date yet, yeah.
Can Ms. Marcotte get hers? She's gonna come and ask the same question.
Just so I'm clear, tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Any tax due and interest can be accepted without the attorney fees included.
I guess I can.
So people can pay their taxes, and if this board makes a policy decision, adjustments will be made. Pay what your bill is, whether it goes to attorney's fees or your tax bill, those can be adjusted after this board makes a decision in January. So just pay the bill. I think that's what the chairwoman is saying.
I guess that's really what I'm saying. Okay, so what I'm saying is just pay it. Yeah.
Okay, on my green notice, hi, Amanda McLaughlin again. On the green notice that came out a couple days ago, it's got my bill, sorry, can't see, blind as a bat. My bill is $366. With the $300, they want $666.57. So you're saying that I should just pay the $366.57 and then wait for this board to reach a final decision on what happens to that $300. And for Ms. Marcotte, her money is in limbo over there. And
It'll be adjusted if this board makes a decision that you would like to see, then that will be adjusted. We're just talking about the computer,
Right.
right?
Right.
We have the money for Ms. Marcotte. We'll have your money
I can
for
give
the
it to you
taxes.
right now.
Well, no. But my point is, if an adjustment, a computer adjustment needs to be made,
Okay.
it has to happen after this board makes a decision, and they
Right.
can't do that tonight. That's all.
Right. And the other thing, like I said, last year in January, or this year in January, they didn't go out to the tax sale. It didn't go out until February or March. So to call it in December, it's kind of like, is there going to be a definite date?
We have to meet.
Yeah, okay, and I'd like to be at that January meeting, so how do I find out when that is? I'm a big one for follow-up.
If you can,
All right, Jim, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, and thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
It's a lot of hard work, and I get that, and I appreciate your time and efforts, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Come on up.
I'm Darlene Marcotte. It's strange that her tax bill attorney fee is $300. Why is mine $325? So, oh, it's $325.
I've never heard of 325, it's 300.
Yeah, I got a bill right here. Yeah, $325.
There's a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah, it's $325. I even talked to her on the phone.
Well, again, adjustments will be made. It should be 300.
No, I understand
It should
that.
be 300.
It should be, but mine says $325. It just seems like everyone seems like to be out of the circus here.
That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, that's the first time. Not everyone, just you.
It's on the paper, though.
Right.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. I know this is quite a shock to people, and we will certainly engage in a thoughtful discussion regarding this whole process. So just be sure that we are going to deal with this appropriately, okay? All right, thank you very much. You're welcome. Any other public comment? Okay, so public comment is over. We are going to now move into executive session, so you are all free to go. Thank you very much, and happy holidays.
Thank you very much.
You can't. What? Ooh, that was 15 years ago? It's a planning department now. So you want a motion to go into executive session? I'm going to close the door, okay?
All right, let me run.